Right, Chris, you've had a week on the training ground, a rare week on the training ground after Derby. What's the feeling been like after the result last weekend?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been positive, as you would expect, off the back of a really good week for us, as we talked about. Out of the heroics at Old Trafford, into the journey and a tough game against QPR and onto Derby. So we were delighted with the week's work. But as I said, afterwards to the players and to you guys in the presser afterwards, stay humble, keep working hard. A lot of football to be played, a lot of games ahead of us, a tough schedule, and we need to be really consistent with our approach and our attitude for us to carry this on.
You mentioned consistency there. That was one of the big things you wanted from your side when you first came in. You talk about the game at QPR and the victory over Derby. You starting to see that consistency in terms of performance from your side now?
I think we've had it right the way through. You can look back and you can pick holes in certain performances, but I think even the sort of the top sides who were banging form possibly would look through their sort of fixtures and say, well, we weren't as good as we were there. But generally, for us to get those results at this level, we've had to play well. So the run that we've been on, 2 defeats in whatever it is, a couple of draws chucked in there, and majority of wins, says to me that we're playing at an high level of consistency in a really tough division. Which, if you are inconsistent, then you don't. Then you get the results that are with inconsistent performances.
Yeah, you like to stick with a settled side a lot of the time, don't you? But you rotated the strikers last weekend and brought in Connolly and Balogun, and they're both impressed. Is that something we're going to expect to see in the weeks ahead, given how busy the schedule is with the fixtures ahead of the international break?
Yeah, there's different ways of approaching it. So we'll use our experience that we've gained, but. It's all about the group, which I've always said. Everybody has to be right and ready to step in. I don't, I've not got a crystal ball. I don't know, what's round the corner. If somebody drops off the pace a little bit, we've got players to go in. Obviously, the squad is a lot stronger than what it was when I first walked through the door, and that's an aim and an objective for me to build that squad, whether it's short, medium, or long term. So we are, with the boys that we brought in, and obviously a couple of the permanent ones, and we're getting players back fit as well. So I'm delighted about that. We've only basically got, obviously there's a couple of long term boys injured, but we got Mark Bowler back on the grass now, so he's possibly 10 days to 2 weeks away. Unfortunate injury to Martin Pereiro, but we'll work with that and hopefully get him back sooner than later. I'm not expecting him to be back in the next couple of weeks, but fingers crossed that he will recover quickly. And I think one of the biggest things is we have to have a slice of luck with his injuries, and because that can derail any football club if they have injuries to key players. So to keep everybody healthy and fit is key. In terms of changing the team, I don't think there's been any need to change the team because they've been going well, and we talked about the results that we've had over the past 2-3 months. So it's up to the other boys to sort of get those players out of the team. And while you're playing, they've got the shirt. Keep hold of it, play well, and make it as difficult as possible for the players that want to get into the team, and most importantly, make it as difficult as possible for the manager. I'm all over that. If I've got tough decisions to make, that's great for me.
You spoke to Mark Drury post-match after Derby, and you mentioned a little text exchange between yourself and Aaron Connolly with regards to his start for the club. He's got that goal now, that confidence boost. Have you seen that difference in him this week on the training ground?
Yeah, we have. Everybody wants to get off to a good start. Do you know what I loved about that he cares. he cares about his performance, and he cares that he's come here and he wants to hit the ground running, as they all do. Everybody wants to get off to a flyer. I did. Duncan Watmore goes through in the first 30 seconds in my first game against Millwall, and I want him to score. We want to win that first game. We all want to get off to a good start, but it's not always possible for one reason or the other. And but the goal, I thought his general performance was, if he'd not scored, his general performance was really good, and the performance of Flo was really good as well. And those two contributed to what was a really good day for us. But delighted for Azza to get his goal, of course. You want your centre forwards, you want your forwards to score. As I said, I love that part of him, that because I knew what we were getting. I knew that he wanted to do well, and he needs our support, and that's why I had a little bit of a nip at a couple of maybe you guys that were talking and we're talking about Aaron Connolly, and everybody makes instant judgments in this world now, and wants instant results, but boy's not played a lot of football, been in the under-23s at Brighton, not really had huge opportunities to get involved in their first team, which is understandable because of the level that they're playing at and the competition of places that he has there. So to get up to speed, but knowing that he's not just here for 1 or 2 games, he was here for 18 games, and he's still more than that, and there's still 16 games to play, and hopefully he can grow off the back of a really good performance individually, as Flo did, and we can keep that consistency with those two as much as all the other players.
Now, I know that a lot of managers say they don't look at the table.
They all look at the table. They all look at the table, apart from me.
Are you looking at it
apart from me
to see how tight it is at the moment?
Of course you do. Of course you look at the table. Of course you look at the table. As a player, you always looked at the Sunday People and the Sunday Mirror. This is going back when you used to go, oh dear me, I've only got a 6 out of 10. They all look. Everything you put, they all look. Don't worry about that.
But when you look at the table at the moment, then does it surprise you how tight that playoff race is?
No, not at all. I think I said all along it's possibly going to be the most open of divisions that the Championship's been for a very, very long time. So I still go along with the top 2. I think that they're going to fly, and then it's going to be a scramble for the next 4. And you've seen teams. You've seen teams come. You've seen teams have a couple of dips, but I can't be too bothered about what's happening in terms of I can't affect them. We can affect what we do, and if we keep winning, you know what, we're going to climb that table, aren't we? And if we lose a couple, we're going to slip. So I'm looking at it and smiling because the team's doing well and we're getting good results. And to answer your original question, we all do.
Now, Nigel Pearson, you're going to be coming up against tomorrow. Experienced manager now, a bit of an iconic captain here at Boro in the late 90s. You look forward to pitting your wits against him? Yeah,
he lives about 500 yards away from me in Sheffield. So, I know Nigel. See him walking now and again. Obviously, his history as a player. He played for the dark side of Sheffield, so I really shouldn't be pals with him. But a good guy, leader, a good guy, and as I said, an iconic leader at Middlesbrough. And from a manager's point of view, been in the game a long time, seen everything, done everything, had promotions, worked at the highest level, worked at top clubs. So there's nothing passes him by. He's an experienced guy. And a leader, I think, a leader in terms of when he was a captain at Middlesbrough, Sheffield Wednesday, and in his playing days, and you can just tell in his manner how he speaks and how he holds himself that he's a leader of men. So no Nigel, and they'll be hurting a little bit because possibly they've not got the results that they've wanted, but on a consistent basis, because that's what we're all after. But they can win games of football in this division. They have done. Nigel has, whether in his career, as I said, promotions out of the Championship. So. And we all want to win games of football. We're talking about the competitive aspect of Nigel as a player and as a manager, and there's no doubt about it. Come 3 o'clock, all the pleasantries and niceties will be put to one side. Regardless if he's played for Middlesbrough, he'll want a result for Bristol City just as much as we want a result for our club.
Just finally, you say that, as you say, that have struggled for consistency a bit at times this year, Bristol City. Do you see any kind of similarities in what Boro were like earlier this season to the season that Bristol City have had so far?
Well, I don't really want to comment pre me, but there's a lot of things that go into that inconsistency as well. A turnover of players. Nigel's not been there for a long time, so he has that situation where he has to turn players over, injuries to key players. So there's a lot of other things that go into the pot. We all go through that as managers, and you do what you need to do, and you work as hard as you possibly can, and I'm sure Nigel is doing that down at Bristol City. But some stuff is out your hands that you have to be patient with and you have to take time with. But his experience, his CV, points towards that. That Nigel will put his stamp on it, and they'll be a successful club. You just got to try and come through these periods, and winning games of football does no harm to you. And ensure that they'll be desperate to win on Saturday and have a big last third of the season to build momentum, to do his work through the summer, to put his stamp on a good football club, because it's a good football club. As I said, he's only been there a short time, so it's quite difficult to make, as we talked about, sort of assessments when a lot of things out of his control. He can't control, but a lot of it will be in time.
Good luck, Chris. Thank you very much.
Cheers. Thank you.
Simon, are you there, mate? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Simon. Morning.
I wondered, when things are going well, is that like a different change of managerial gear? Because do you get caught in a position where you think, well, do I just have to not do too much now because things are doing well? Or do you have to change things and sort of keep the players fresh?
No, I just keep the hammer down, keep doing what you do that's got yourself into that position. We're a group that wants to work as hard as we possibly can at the right times, but this is where we need to step on the gas now and show what we're all about. We put ourselves in a good position. We want to turn that good position into a great position, and we'll only do that by setting the standards from a Monday to Friday. Keep working towards those standards. Of course, winning games of football gives you confidence, as we talked about there. From Bristol City's and Nigel's point of view, we've been fortunate that we've had consistency in terms of selection. So that's give us that platform to build and improve. And there's still a third of the season to go, so a lot of football to be played. And we want to, saying to keep the hammer down. We want to keep working and really step it up and keep building this momentum that we're creating.
When you look around the dressing room and you look into the eyes there, do you sense that they get what an opportunity they've got over this next few months?
Yeah, well, they understand it. They've been in the game a long time. Which I've said to them. It's when the door opens, you've got to be prepared to step through it. And yeah, of course, you talk about my sort of appointment being a medium to long term one. I'm delighted that the club see me leading the team for a while. and I'm proud and given that responsibility, and we'll work as hard as we possibly can as a staff and myself as a manager. But there's opportunities for players now. Right now, they understand it. As you said, there's no good dressing it all up. Everybody sees league tables. They see the points total. They see who we've played, the games that we're coming up. We're embracing it and we're looking forward to it, and we can't shy away from it. There's pressure on everybody. There's pressure on teams. There's a couple of teams that have been on great runs that are getting booed off at half time and full time, and they're above us in the division. So there's that pressure from supporters, expectation. But as I've always said, and I've been consistent with it, so we'd rather have that because we're doing something well and we're doing something right, and we'd rather have 26, 27,000 at home. We'd rather sell out away from home, and we want people to come. And we want people to get behind us and expect us to win, and we have to deal with that. We're not always going to do that. We're not going to go through the next 16 games and have setbacks. But we've recovered from a setback at Blackburn and got ourselves back on. I'd like that to continue for a little longer, but we will have a setback. And as I said, a lot of football to be played, a lot of emotions to go through. So we need to keep calm, but we need to embrace the position that we're in and enjoy it as well.
You mentioned the phrase there, some teams are getting booed off at half-time and full-time. Certainly not the case for you. The fans seem right on board, seem to be really enjoying this at the moment. That's in terms of the numbers through the gates. Also, just a sort of straw poll on social media, fans seem to be really, really behind the team and behind what's going on at the moment. How aware are you of that?
Well, you can't not be. Whether, I'm being up here and walking around the way where you live and being around the training ground, and there's a buzz about it, which, as you said, that's what we're trying to create. We're trying to create that connection between supporters and players and football club, because at its strongest, this football club is together, and I don't see any club that is apart or broken that has success on the pitch. It has to be together. It has to be as one. We have to take the setbacks on the chin, and everybody understands that. And we have to enjoy the good times. But it's a powerful football club. Any football club's a powerful one if it's really together on the same page. And our football club at its best has all been together. They'll accept bad results. They won't accept certain things as much as I won't accept certain things. They'll accept a result that doesn't go for us, as long as everything is left out on that pitch and the players are giving it the maximum. We all are. The supporters giving the maximum, and you've seen it. The backing, the electric atmosphere. It was a proper atmosphere on Saturday. It was brilliant at QPR, and I don't need to tell anybody about what Manchester United was like. So, I think that. The supporters of Middlesbrough know the football, and they understand the backing that they give the players and what effect it has on them and how that can raise their levels, and they're all playing the part, which I'm delighted that we've got that connection, and we need to keep that going.
Thanks, Chris. Good luck. Have a good
Cheers,
weekend.
Simon. Thank you, and you.
Craig.
Hey, Craig.
Morning, Chris.
Morning, mate.
Morning. You mentioned earlier Martin Piero. Has he seen a specialist yet? Is there, an exact time frame at all yet? Is there?
No, there's not an exact time frame on it, so we're not gonna give out too much on that one at the moment, Craig. But he'll be missing for the next couple of weeks, and we see how that settles down. Thankfully, he doesn't need an operation on it, but obviously, it's he was getting himself back involved, got on the pitch at Old Trafford, and disappointing because we were, he was just building up a little bit. It's been talked about it being a difficult period for him, but there was still 16 games to go, so he'll play a part between now and the end of the season. When that happens, then obviously we'll keep you in the loop with it.
Yeah, and in terms of the rest of the squad, a week of training, everyone come through that okay?
Yeah, everybody's fine. we're just missing Mark Bowler now. That's been doing his work out on the grass, which is good news for Mark and for us. So to get another one back is important, and as I said before, to keep everybody healthy. I think one of the things that I would say, Craig, is which I've commented about to the players and gave them a small compliment. Not that they need it because it's their job. Is the energy levels, how they sort of took on board what they needed to do from a recovery point of view after Friday night, after the long journey down to London and back, and the game on Wednesday and into Saturday. I thought the energy levels from everybody, second half in the last 20-25 minutes of the Derby game was first class, and we're building that up, and so I'm delighted to see that. And that isn't always, that's work away from the lights. That's work, what they need to do, personal stuff as team stuff, gym stuff, rehabilitation, doing the right things, making sure you can give your best performance when the ball rolls on a Saturday or a Tuesday night.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. Just a different one, Chris. Obviously, Storm coming in today. I would imagine usual plans would be to travel down to Bristol today. With the storm and everything, is that still the plan? Will it affect things at all?
Yeah, we've got contingency plans, so we are flying down there. So it might take us about 15 minutes if we get a good wind behind us, or it might take about 3.5 hours. But hopefully we can fly. So the club have been fabulous in terms of those sorts of things to give us the best preparation for a tough game, another tough afternoon. Bristol City obviously had this record hanging around the neck, in terms of their own record, and obviously they've shut that off, and they've had some really positive results at home. So wounded animal and all stuff like that. Nigel Pearson, who we know about, who's a winner, who's a leader. Who desperately want his team to find that consistency, and so whether it's a preparation, whether it's we're flying down, we have got contingency plans if we can't, but there'd be no excuses come Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, I always think of the Carl Froch fight when he was in Iceland. He was in Denmark. I think he couldn't fly, could he, because of the Iceland volcanic. Eruption.
Yeah, I remember it. Yeah.
I always remember that, so that's where that one came from. No, just last one from me, Chris. It's 15 games now into your Middlesbrough tenure. We've spoken about the run and all things like that. I mean, just how happy are you, with how much you have been able to turn things around in those 15 games?
I'm greedy. I always want more. I always want more from the players. We always want more from everything, whether it's results, performances, improvement from the players. That's how it's going to be, whether it's the first 15 games or the 350th. So not got a crystal ball in terms of how long we're going to be here, but we're gonna give it everything that we've got, and we're demanding staff. I'm a demanding manager, but I'm a supportive manager as well, and I've been delighted with the start, delighted with the attitude of the players. There's been a few downsides in that, but I couldn't have asked for anything more. But that's in the past, that's gone. We're happy with the start that we've made in the first 15 games. But like I said, we want more. We're hungry for more. We're hungry for the feeling of coming off the pitch at Old Trafford. Coming off the pitch on Saturday when we've performed well, but knowing that there's still a lot to play for, a lot on offer. And we want it. That competitive aspect of us all is that we want that feeling at 10-5 when job done, got a result. But to get that feeling, you've got to do a lot of things right, and continue to try and do those things.
There was a lot of fans who've had their travel plans already disrupted. Cancelled trains, and some have even asked me for a lift down to Bristol this weekend. Obviously, they're still going to travel in the numbers. They're still going to find a way to get there, and that must just be music to your ears.
Oh, it's brilliant. They do, don't they? You don't want to miss out, do you? And when things are going well, and which they are, you can't hide away from that. And of course it is, and you appreciate it a little bit more that they do. And There's no doubt about it that football fans and the attitude of them and what makes football fans, in my opinion, from a sporting point of view, the best. You look, I've been involved in it. You look at some of the fixtures. I think Harrogate were at Exeter on Tuesday night, and there's going to be punters there from Harrogate that will possibly get him back at 4:30 and 5 o'clock. Same at Old Trafford and same at QPR. The support that we had there. So that's part and parcel. We can't take anybody for granted. So we do appreciate it. And as I said, the onus is on us yet again to go again and produce another committed performance and hopefully reward however they get down there by hook or by crook with a positive performance and a good result.
And you've mentioned, in the past, how you brought the players into a huddle after the game, and now the fans are just starting to notice and appreciate that a little bit more. Just your words on kind of like is that methodical, or is that just we have to do that as a reward?
No. A lot of managing is there's no book of how to manage. It's feel of it's experience, it's gut feeling. There's times where we've played really well and I've not said anything in the change room. There's times where we've not got a result. We've played well and then I've had a bit. So it's not it's unpredictable. It's gut feeling. It's what I feel at the time that I think that I need to say. Some of it is planned, of course. It is. It's not all off the cuff, but it's not as straightforward as There's not a book out there, how to be a manager, how to be a championship manager, how to try and be a successful manager. So, it's through experience and feel as well. There's certain stuff that fall in your lap and it sets up for you. There's certain stuff that's pre-planned, but there's just times that you need to try and say the right things to the players, and that's what we try and do. So it's important that the messages and the timing of the messages is clear, that it's home. They don't hear my voice all the time, so I think that's important as well. But it's the top and bottom of it. It's all words. The players have got to go out there and produce performances. They're the ones in the on the big stage when the pressure's on. Of course, you have to try and pick the right team and the right formation and the right messages, motivational situations. I still say that I don't really think that I really need to motivate a group of professional footballers who play for Middlesbrough in the Championship, who financially are getting well rewarded, who've got a great career, ahead of them or have had it behind them. But players are the ones that have to go out and do the business, and we've got a group of players that are doing the business at the moment, and we need to keep driving them forward.
Just finally for me, this might seem like a bit of a generic question, but a lot of the fans are really enjoying what you're seeing, and I'm sure they would probably love to know who kind of your sporting heroes are, and during times of hardship, who you normally take stock from. Who are you? Who would you say are your kind of sporting heroes in the game?
No, I've not really got any. I like positive sportsmen. I like people that are on the front foot, that take risks, that wear their heart on the sleeve, and are honest and genuine, and give everything. I think that, as I said, that the players are getting the support and the backing because they see genuine boys giving everything for the football club. They sign here. There is obviously local boys, but they sign for the football club. But that doesn't mean that they're not attached to it and they grow. You look at, I would say, maybe you look at George Friend, who's not from round here. George was at Exeter for a number of years and then come up here, and I would say, sort of mixed and lived a life of not only a Middlesbrough footballer but of a Middlesbrough supporter. And I think you saw that in his performances and his affection for the football club. And I saw that from a distance. I didn't really know George, but you always got the feeling that this boy's giving everything. And I've had players like that at my previous clubs. Doesn't mean that because they live, half a mile away from the ground that they haven't got that connection and the love of the football club. But I think just going back, you just want to see people have a right go, talented people that have a go where they are on the sleeve and aggressive and competitive and want to win. So there's nobody really that stands out for me that I can really just name just off the top of my head.